I'd like to welcome everyone to the February Elizabethton Board of Education meeting. Thank you for the good group to be here. If you haven't been here, basically after we have our recognitions, you have the option to stay for the remainder of the meeting, which really shouldn't be very lengthy, but we will allow you to get up and leave if you need to go before the regular meeting starts. But we'd just like for you to at least stay for the recognitions, and then we'll have a time of dismissal if you choose. You'll thrill us to death if you stay, but it will give you that option. Right now, we'll do our moment of silence and pledge the flag, and I'll turn it over to Director Van Huss for that.
Please stand. Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time to approve the consent agenda and the regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
A motion and a second?
Second.
Okay, either one. All right, any discussion about anything on either item? Okay, again, the items to approve consent agenda and regular agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. It's now time for citizens to speak. We did not have anyone request to speak, so we'll move on to one of our favorite times, and that's special recognitions, and I'll again turn it over to Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pless. So at this time, we will start our recognitions with the EHS cheers. So if the nanny coaches are here, nannies, the nannies.
Well, that was a surprise. So, I'm very proud of our team. We've accomplished a lot this year. They started out the season. Not only do they cheer for football and basketball, we've also started competing this year, and so they have got third place at the state competition this year in November, which was really awesome. That was our first time competing at the TSSAA state competition. And then also we won the Smoky Mountain Championship, and then we're able to compete again this year at Nationals, and they've just done an amazing job. So I'm very proud of them.
Thank you. All right.
Come on up.
Yeah. Come on up,
If all you
girls.
come over, we'll take a picture.
And guy, yes.
See how organized you are here.
Yeah. Do a pyramid.
Two roll, yeah, do a
Yeah.
pyramid. There you go.
Victoria's on top.
Yeah, hold her up.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Thank you all.
They're saying tell Dad to move his finger.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I think sometimes this is a group that we all take for granted. We just expect them to show up, and I don't think we really appreciate how much work they do. So thank you all very much for what you add to our school and our community. So congratulations on a great year. At this time, we will recognize EHS Swim. So Coach Broussard, I think, is here. So big year for swimming.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, you go right ahead.
I don't take too long.
No, you're fine.
I must say Elizabethton Swimming is representing well. We just concluded our season about 2 weeks ago, where we sent 5 swimmers to state in Nashville. And this season was the first year that TSCA, the Tennessee Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association, recognized divisions in our sport, which was a huge deal. And with former athletic director Coach Holt's help, we initiated that. So everybody in swimming in Tennessee knows Elizabethton just because of that. And as a result, the first year that we were able to be recognized as a small school division, we placed 5th. Our girls placed 5th. We only brought 5 of them, so this was a significant achievement for us. I want to recognize first our state team. So as I call your names, if you guys would please just come up and stand and then just stay here. Elena Holt. Trinity Hopwood. Madeline Isaacs, who's not here today. Elle Nekvasil. And Adriana Stepanavicius. These 4 girls competed in the 200 medley relay, in which they placed 4th in the small schools division, and I want to award them with their medals as a small schools division 4th place.
That's a big deal.
Elaine Holt also placed 8th in the individual 50 freestyle. I have a medal for her for that. Adriana Stepanavicius also placed 5th in the division in her 50 freestyle. And with Madeline Isaacs, Adriana, Trinity, and Elena placed 2nd in our division in finals. It was the first time we had ever qualified and competed as a relay team for the girls in finals at state. So this was truly a phenomenal meet. It was super exciting. So I'm going to award them their medals for that as well. And the relays are just so incredibly fun. We were seated right next to Science Hill. They were in lane 7 and we were in lane 8. And so because we know them, it was great competition for us, and we out-touched them by 0.02 of a second.
Wow.
Prior to that, we competed in our regional championship, where all of the schools in this East Tennessee compete against each other. Our girls placed 3rd, only behind Dobbins-Bennett and Science Hill, who we only lost to by 20 points. So that was exciting. Usually our biggest rival is Tennessee High, and we beat them, so that was very exciting. And our boys placed 5th, and considering we only had 4 boys that were able to score for us that day, that's a huge achievement. I want to next recognize our all-conference and all-region recognition swimmers. So to add to these 4, Lillian Blanton, Holly Holsclaw, is she not here? Trip Trevette, Lewis Trevette, and Austin Davis. In order to achieve all conference or all region status, they have to place in the top 8 in the region in their events, and all of these kiddos did that, so we're super proud. Next, I want to recognize who we are nominating for a National Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association Academic All-American Award, and that is Kara Carr. Kara was co-captain of our team this year, along with Adriana, and she exemplified what a co-captain should be. She led with authority and kindness. She was a great liaison between her teammates and her coaches. I can't commend her enough. Her leadership was unmatched. It was great. We are, as we speak, filling out the application for her Academic All-American Award, and it will then be on a banner in the pool area, which we'll purchase as soon as this happens. So we're super excited about that. The remaining team members that were just exceptionally crucial to our successful dual meet season were Yusuf Craig, who I don't believe is here, Anna Hill and Amelia Turbafil, and Aiden Wolf. Aiden, I'm not going to leave you sitting there. Come on up. Aiden scored points for us in every single meet he swam in. He placed 10th at regionals, so he was very close to placing in the all-conference, making the all-conference team. And as a result, this team helped lead us to an undefeated in-conference season, 5-0, and an out-of-conference 2-2. We broke 6 school records, all 3 relay records for the girls, in addition to the 50 and 100 freestyle and the 100 breaststroke, a record that stood for 27 years. So we're super proud. Way to go, guys.
Thank you. Great season. Next up, EHS Golf. Coach Enzer, there you are.
We won't get close to him.
We had a great year for the golf program. Had these kids anywhere from Nashville to Newland. We kind of drug them around all over the state. But we had a really good year. We were district champs. We actually beat Greenville in the first playoff hole, so that was exciting. Bryson Harden was the medalist for our district. Then we went on to the regional championship, and we won that as a team. That's the first one in school history there. So that was pretty special. So this was the first time we were able to take the golf program to state as a team. In the region, Bryson was the individual medalist, and Tyler York finished 3rd. And then when we went to state, spent 2 days down there at Sevierville, and we placed 5th in the state. So that was a huge ordeal. Bryson Harden was tied for 29th. Tyler York was tied for 32nd. Braxton Avery was 46th. Marshall Holsclaw was tied for 47th, and Gage Stout was tied for 58th. All these guys competed, did everything we asked them to. They represented the school and the community very well, especially Braxton. Great senior leadership throughout. And tomorrow we get to celebrate him as well because he is going to sign with King University after school to continue his collegiate career. So it'll be fun to see him go on and prosper and grow as a young man and golfer, and we'll start working on next year.
All right. Yeah, that's great. Again, we thank everyone for being here. Everyone is welcome to stay, but if you do choose to leave, this would be the proper time to do that. We'll take just a couple of minutes to allow that to happen. Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started again. Again, thank you for coming to support all of our students as they continue just to impress us in everything they do. It's time now for Director's Update. Mr. Van Haas.
Thank you, sir. A couple of things. First of all, again, just further recognition of School Board Appreciation Week a couple of weeks ago, and you have some other goodies here from some of the schools. Again, just a big thank you, because we know the pay's not very lucrative since you do it for free, but we appreciate what you do for your community, the time and effort and your talents that you provide to this board, and the way that you love on our students. We appreciate you very, very much. So thank you for all you do. I had the opportunity last week to attend the AASA, that's the National Superintendents Association. They had their national conference in Nashville, so I was able to attend that. It was a great conference, a great opportunity to network with superintendents all over the country, and attending great sessions, lots of cutting edge things going on across the country. And what I came away with, there's always great things to learn there and opportunities to improve and get better. But the other thing I took away was so many things that I heard that we're doing right here in Elizabethton. And that's a tribute to our teachers, our administrators, both at the central office and the school level. And I just couldn't be more proud of this school system and this community, the way it supports this school system. And again, just the people that love on and genuinely want to do everything they can to try to give students the best education they possibly can in Elizabeth. So we're very blessed, and that was my big takeaway from there. And then I had the opportunity to stay Monday and Tuesday this week to attend the Tennessee School Board Legislative and Legal Institute with Mr. Smith and Ms. Schaff, and had a great opportunity there to hear about a lot of the different. What's that?
The highlight of your week.
That was it. I didn't want to go too far over the top, but just the opportunity to hear about some of the legislative events going on in the state, and some of those focuses there, and some things we're for and some things we're not for. But also, it was a real opportunity for me. I thought they did a great job of talking about, vouchers and things like that, and the way they impact, obviously, public schools. And the gist of the first session was, all right, we need to put our big boy pants on, quit whining about it. Vouchers are here. It's our job as public school administrators and systems to make it the best option for parents and students in our community. So that was a really great session for me to hear and look at some innovative ways that we can, again, just look to improve the product that we have and the opportunities for students. So I'm sure that two board members will want to share their experiences as well there, and some of the things they learned. I also wanted to say congratulations to Travis Thompson, who was the District Supervisor of the Year, and Eric Wampler has been selected as the Principal of the Year in the district. So just want to give them a shout out and tell them how much we appreciate them. And the barrel was kind of thin. It was kind of thin.
Yeah, I figured he's the only one running.
No, yeah, that was it. Race of one.
Not you, Travis.
No. Oh.
But in all seriousness, they do a great job. Again, just two examples of people that work really hard to try to make the system the best they can. So again, congratulations to them, and they'll move on to regional competition there as well. Obviously, the last few weeks we've had some weather challenges, and it sounds like there may be the possibility of some snow back in the forecast Sunday into Monday. So we'll see how that goes. But I just wanted to say how much we appreciate the city of Elizabethton and all they did to try to get the roads back in as good a shape as they could. This was a really unique, two unique snow events, in the fact that it was kind of warm at the beginning, and then the temperature dropped, and so there was a layer of ice everywhere, as we all know, and then snow on top of that. Just really unusual, very, very challenging. But again, just thank the staff for being flexible, as well as students and parents. I know it's a hardship when we're out of school or we have a delay, but please know that we take that very seriously. Safety is our biggest concern, and so we spend a lot of time and effort trying to make the best decision we can. I'll be the first to admit it's not one of the fun tasks that we tackle, but it's obviously important, so we try to do the best we can there. So thanks to everyone for their support and flexibility. Also, just this past week, the turf installation, the reinstall at Citizens Bank Stadium at the high school is being completed, and it looks fantastic. when you get a chance to see it, you're going to say, well, it looks really similar to the other one, which it does. But we've also added a couple of little features that give it a little flair, I think, from what it was before. We put down the exact same material that we had down before because it held up so well. Most places don't get 11 years of use out of the turf like we did, and especially with the volume of use. I mean, it's used all the time. And so we appreciate you for supporting us in replacing that. Again, that's a great surface for all of our students to utilize. And so if you've not had a chance, I know there's some pictures on our different social media sites, and certainly I'd encourage you to swing down by there sometime and check that out. A couple other things here. If you notice behind me, we have a new sign, and this sign was created by John Lee's STEM class at Elizabethton High School, and then our maintenance staff installed it at the end of last week. So I think it looks great, and appreciate them doing that for us. We needed something to kind of dress the space up a little bit, and again, just the fact that they had the capability there to do that, and the students had a chance to work on that. So, you know, anytime they're around, they can see that and say, you know what, I helped make that. So it's great. Again, it looks fantastic. So we appreciate them for that. There's also an item on the agenda talking about some positions for additional tutoring supports for students. That we've received 2 different grants. One is a TN All-Core grant for $74,600 that we'll utilize to pay for some additional tutors. And we also received another $15,000 grant, and that's specifically for students that may have been retained that we're required to provide tutoring for. So those funds will help us do that. As you know, a lot of the growth that we've seen, especially at the elementary schools in the last few years, academically and growth-wise, we attribute a lot of that to not only the great work that goes on in the classrooms, what we call Tier 1 instruction, but it's also these supports for students that need just a little bit more to get them over the hump. So we're excited about the fact that we're going to be able to, again, this just allows us to serve more students and provide opportunities for them to close those gaps. So thank you for your consideration on approving those positions later in the meeting. Last item, this week the last couple of weeks, we've been distributing emergency panic badges with a button on them for all staff in the school system. That will allow any staff member, if there's a local emergency in the school, they know how many times they need to push that to get administrators to come. And then there's also another feature if it's something more serious that would be a larger emergency event that could actually contact law enforcement. So that's another great safety feature that we're able to add for the safety of our students and staff. So we're really excited about that. So we're just trying to finish up the implementation of that, getting everyone online with that. But again, thank you for your support, allowing us to purchase those. And again, I think that's going to go a long way to providing another layer of safety for our students and staff. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Van Huss. And now, board member reports. As he mentioned, we had some that went to Murfreesboro or Franklin. And I know they'll fight who goes first, but we do want to say thank you for the gifts that some of them came last board meeting and through the time. It's awfully nice to, again, for y'all to do that, and we really do appreciate that. But either of you or both?
Well, I'd like to say I appreciate the opportunity to get to go. It's just amazing to me.
Help her out there a little bit. Yeah, get that down there.
I've never needed a microphone. I can yell really loud. But it's just how well they're prepared for us. I mean, it's like clockwork, and they don't stumble for their words. They're on point, and it all pertains to what we're going through. So it's really very educational, especially for me. And also to see what is going on the House floor, what TSBA opposes and what they support, and they give us every little detail of what is lined up in that bill, so there won't be any surprises if it doesn't get supported, or it's just a really fascinating thing to watch. How, I mean, they just get up there and it's just like they just quote off those numbers, and they don't stumble. And I thought if that were me, that would be embarrassing, because I wouldn't have any idea. But I really appreciated the opportunity to go. Thank you.
I would just say, echo Jamie's comments and Mr. Van Huss's comments in that there are pieces of legislation our elected officials are going to be voting on, and it's incumbent upon all of us to watch those very closely. Absolutely, your message about vouchers are here. It's time for us to not just educate the community about the amazing stuff that's happening in our schools, but also the TSBA says we have more freedom and flexibility to be innovative in what we offer our students. And I think that's a big challenge for us. Another one that really jumped out at me was there was a significant amount of time dedicated to addressing the reality that many of you know is existing right now, and that is the increasing number of behavioral issues that our teachers are having to deal with in classrooms every day. They're trained to educate, they end up having to mediate, and it is our responsibility to not just support them, but also to advocate for them at the legislative level so that they have more power to deal with those things as they happen, and to just let them know they're not alone. I have to add, while I got the mic open, I just want to congratulate Coach Kelly for building an amazing swim program. For making Elizabethton a swim town and a swim school, and your tenacity is appreciated. So thank you.
It's fun when we hear firsts when we're a system that's been around a really long time, and we've had swimming for 50 plus years since that building was built, and maybe before, I don't know, but to hear first and hear golf talk about first and everything, those are really a big deal. So we do really appreciate that. So those are the things we can advertise when we're competing for students, or what we're doing and the opportunities they have. So anybody else? You'll talk about Switzerland? No. Okay. All right, beautiful place. All right. Okay. Now it's time for City Council Liaison. Mr. Simmerly, good to see you.
It is so exciting to see all the students in here.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It's just,
it is.
Wow, I wish we could give them to city council.
Yeah.
They could throw rocks at us or tomatoes.
You have more parking at City Council.
Yeah.
Yes,
There you go,
yes.
there you go. I've only got two things tonight, real quick. One, we know voting. I'm sure everyone saw in the paper, saw in the news, how basically our city charter is written. Unfortunately, Mr. Smith, you're going to be if you're running for re-election, you've got to run here for the August election, then you've got to turn right around and run for the November election. And it's because of our city ordinance and the way it's written in the charter is written that it requires that if you have a replacement council, any elected official within the city, city governments, if you have a change in that, you have to have an election you have to have that position at the very next election. And then, as you know, that position basically expires, and you have to run in November. Mine expires in November as well. So it's kind of crazy about that. My apologies for that. It's the way the charter's written. We are actually talking possibly with the state if we could change that. We have I'm going to call it a sister city. I think it's down near Tullahoma somewhere. Union, and if they're our sister city, they have to agree to those changes as well. And if they can, they'll agree to those changes, we agree to those changes, then we would approach our state and talk to them about changing the charter. So again, my apologies, but it's just part of the way it's written, at least for now. And it also costs a lot of money for those that are running for office. So, it's just part of it. You've already been talking about the March, about the meeting with our legislatures. We're going down for the TML, Tennessee Municipal League. We go once a year to Nashville to meet with our legislatures, Crow and Jones, and we're going to be talking to them about a lot of different issues. Obviously, we're going to be talking to them about vouchers. But if Mr. Van Huss, Mr. Pless, if you can get with me or get with our city manager or our mayor and give us some talking points, whatever it might be, because we'll have about, I don't know, they give us 15 minutes, but we're always in there for at least 30 to 45 minutes. But we have something we hand to them. So as quick as between now and the 1st of March, you can get that to us. We can sit down with Crow and we'll sit down with Jones in their offices and talk with them about why we want the situation with vouchers. We want transparency there. We want to know what's going on. Can't change it. It's there. Nothing we can do about that. Or obviously, if you've got anything else you want us to talk about with the state legislatures, this is our once-a-year chance we go down. We get our training as well. We have to go down for training. But again, it's a chance we go up on the hill and meet with the staff and be able to talk with them. So be happy to carry anything up there that you have. And if you have anything for me.
All right.
other than throw rocks at me. Thank you.
We're good. Thank you. All right. And student liaisons report, we'll turn it over.
So today I got to attend an awesome event at EHS called the Community of Practice, where we hosted some schools and community leaders in the area and just kind of shared how we built a relationship with our community and how we have our work-based learning program and our community-centered learning, which are growing exponentially. And it was just a wonderful opportunity to make sure that we're growing as a community and just unite so we can give our students the best education. And also some exciting news. A couple of weeks ago, we elected our next student liaison, Phoebe Hawley, who's in the audience.
You have your speech ready? You have your speech ready?
You're accepting.
I'm just
speech.
kidding.
Yeah, so we're really excited about her and the leadership she'll bring to this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. All right, now it's time to move on to the regular agenda. First item on the agenda, to approve for Elizabethton High School to hire a grant communications coordinator using XQ funds. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second?
Second.
Second, thank you. And any discussion or any?
If it's okay, Dr. Minton's going to come up
Okay.
and talk to you a little bit about
Good
this
deal.
position and the need for this position.
Yes, so thank you for the time. I'll build off what Helen just said. Our community of practice today was really cool. We had at our C deck had some of our regional partners, both in our community, local businesses. Ballard Health Academy was there, and also some local schools to come learn from us about some things that are going on at EHS. It was really part of the original vision of our XQ grant years ago. So when we purchased the Union Pharmacy building, that was kind of the one of the underlying ideas behind purchasing that space is to have a flexible setting for people to come and learn from us. And so Eddie Montalvo, who's here with XQ today, he's been a close friend of ours that's worked with XQ in various roles. And so he happens to be here tonight, so we appreciate him being here as well. And but that is just one example of how some of the grant opportunities that we've been presented with, telling our own story as part of this grant communications position, a part-time position that will help us advance the work. We have that in our system, and Nicole does an awesome job at the high school. We just have so many unique things that are going on. Having a storytelling position as part of the grant helps us talk about obviously the tradition and the history of our school, but also the direction that we're going to try to grow. And some things have been mentioned here tonight, even about innovation and about the way high school is changing rapidly. And we want to keep up with that, but we also want to stay ahead of it. And so this grant communications coordinator would be a position, again, part-time, with your approval, that will allow us to put somebody in place that will help us advance that work, bring back some things that will help us tell stories about, again, where we've been, where we are, and how we're trying to advance the mission of the grant at the same time. Be happy to take questions if you have any.
That was actually one of the recommendations, wasn't it? To have someone do that, to put your school out there so people could see what we're offering and what public schools is offering to the community. So, perfect.
All right, thank you.
Question, thank you. Okay. All right, any other questions, comments? We're very fortunate to have had XQ be associated with Elizabethton for so many years. All right, the item is to approve for Elizabethton High School to hire a grant communication coordinator using XQ funds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion carries. Next item, approve the creation of 2 full-time tutoring assistant positions to be paid for using Title I and Tutoring Integration Grant funds, and 5 part-time tutoring assistant positions to be paid for using Tutoring Integration Grant funds for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year. Need a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion, and I'll take one of those as a second, okay? And I know you've already mentioned it a little bit. Anything else you want to
Yeah,
add?
I thought I'd ask Dr. Newman if she would come up and just briefly give you a synopsis of the 2 portions of that grant. Mainly, this one again deals with the T&All Core Tutoring Grant, which is the larger of the 2 funding sources there. But I thought it might be good for you to hear a little bit about those. And she was the lead on getting those 2 grants submitted and approved. So, Dr. Newman?
Yeah, we're still waiting on that approval, so hopefully that'll happen in the next couple of days. so we can start the tutoring since it's at the end of the year. But the law really changed a little bit during the third grade promotion pathways, and so it now requires us to provide tutoring for any student that's been retained in K through 3. And so that's the first part of that grant is the early literacy tutoring grant. It provides us with $500 per student that is required to receive tutoring. So we received about $15,000. So we'll use those funds to help us pay for our current tutors. So right now we have one lead tutor, which is a certified teacher, and one full-time and one part-time tutor in each of our elementary schools to help us to meet that law requirement. And then in 4th grade, if they did not have a proficiency rate on their ELA TCAP, we are required to do tutoring. So we're providing tutoring from K through 5th grade in our elementary. So it has to be a ratio of 1 to 3. So with that many, we can have around, I did some figuring so I could tell this correctly, but we have 108 students across our districts per grade level receiving tutoring right now. And this additional, well, that's next. So that's, we're looking at students who have been retained, those students that may not qualify for RTI or for special education, but those students that might need that extra support to get to proficient. So that's our goal, is to help our students to move towards proficiency. So the next part of the grant or the application is the Innovation Tutoring Grant, and we received or allocated $74,600. So we are going to use those funds to provide our elementary schools with one additional tutor, and our middle school, which right now is not receiving any tutors or any tutoring services, 4 tutors. So that will give us, with this grant, we're allowed to do some math tutoring as well. So K3, that tutor will be able to do ELA, and then 4-5, they'll do math tutoring. And then our middle school will have 2 tutors to do ELA and 2 to do math. So that will allow us to increase our tutors at the elementary school by 54 students in ELA and 36 students receiving tutoring in math. And then at the middle school, it'll be 36 students for ELA and 36 students for math. So that's 36 students, or that many students that will receive some additional support. It's already scheduled in our master schedule, so it's not like we're pulling them from our Tier 1 instruction. It's not after school or before school, so we have them at school. That's when we're going to do it. So it's just giving our students that little extra bump. And what we do is we use our high-quality instructional materials, and we really focus in on our pacing guide. We either pre-teach or we do some teaching afterwards, some to help them to get caught up. So that's our focus, and we're excited to have these funds. We have been told that these will be renewable funds, so each year we can apply again for those, which will help us to meet the requirement of the law, but also to serve our students.
Thank you. And again, that's why it says just for the remainder, because we don't know about the renewal.
That's
okay.
right.
So,
That's right. And again, the two full-time that are mentioned at the beginning, 2 of our elementary schools would like to use some of their additional Title I dollars to make those 2 part-time positions full-time. So that's the difference on there.
Okay.
So it'll be a combination of those 2 funding sources for the full-time position.
all right. So the items to approve: creation 2 full-time tutoring assistant positions to be paid for using Title I and tutoring integration grants, and 5 part-time tutoring assistant positions to be paid for using tutoring integration grant funds for the remainder of the 2025-26 school year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion carries. And last item, ratify and approve modifications to the Elizabethton City Schools 2025-2026 school calendar. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So very quickly, again, as we talked before, we've obviously had some challenging weather. As you know, we have 13 stockpile days that are built into our schedule every year. We earn those 13 days by going an extra 30 minutes of instruction each day for the entirety of the school year. Historically, we have taken 7 of those days as 7 is professional development, 6 is snow. I always get that backwards, for inclement weather. So we've already used, at this point, we've used 7 inclement weather days. So that put us 1 over. So the first part of this request is that we retroactively go back. Obviously, we went to school Monday for President's Day, which was originally a PD day. That gets us, if you want to think, back even with the board as far as the required number of school days for students to attend in a school year. In anticipation, if we have any other inclement weather, what the other part of this request is that you allow us to convert our March 20th PD day and our May the 5th PD day, convert those back to regular school days in the event that we need those. I also want to share with you that based on the snow events that we had, we do have the opportunity to apply for a waiver with the state to waive additional days that we may miss. But the first requirement is we have to exhaust all of our stockpile days. So in other words, we can't apply for that waiver until these other 2 PD days are used in some form or fashion. So this action would allow us the flexibility. Obviously, again, we made that decision to go ahead and do the one for President's Day prior to the meeting. That's why we ask you to ratify that portion. And then we won't have to do that in the future. We'll already have a plan in place. I will tell you that our plan may be, if we miss another day, we may actually take those in reverse order. We may take the May 5th day first. A couple of reasons. First and foremost, the March 20th date, as you know, is backed up to spring break. And so there's fear that some parents may have already made plans to maybe leave earlier on that Friday. So we're afraid it may negatively impact our attendance on that day. So if we miss another snow day, I would anticipate us converting the May 5th day back to a school day. And then if we need another one prior to the 20th of March, we would use that day. Let's say, I know a few years ago, it's been several years ago, but we had a pretty major snow event in April one year. So let's say that happened again, and that March 20th date was already gone. At that point, we would apply for the waiver to waive any additional days that we would need. So it's probably more than you want to know, but I wanted you to kind of have a thought on our thinking on how we would move forward. So questions or comments on that?
I appreciate you looking ahead and thinking about the order of that gives us the best option. Question, comments?
And I'll call any of you Sunday night if you want to help me make a decision about school on Monday. Anyone that wants to get out and ride the roads, you're welcome.
Yeah. All right. The item is to ratify and approve modifications to the Elizabethton City Schools 2025-2026 school calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Next regularly scheduled board meeting will be held Thursday, March the 19th, here in this boardroom at 5:30. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Have a good evening. Thank you all for being here.